How's it going, peeps? I hope you're all doing well and keeping safe. And today we're going to be talking about the guards in this year's NBA draft, and more specifically my top 10 guards. Now this is based on the big board that I have compiled. The full big board will be released next week before the draft. But I just thought I'd give basically a list of the top 10 guards on my board, the top 10 wings, and the top 10 bigs. So yeah, starting with the guards. And yeah, before we get into the video, I just want to mention that some of this video was recorded prior to the combine, so the measurements might not be completely accurate. So the height or the wingspan of these guys might have changed. So please don't kill me in the comments. I apologize, I'm sorry, but that's just the way it had to be done. So yeah, let's get into the video. At the number 10 spot, I have Tre Mann out of Florida. Mann is 6'4" with a 6'4" wingspan. In his sophomore season in Florida, he averaged 28 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists per 100 possessions, while shooting 46% from the field and 40% from 3. Mann showed that he has good scoring potential, and much of that is powered by his jumper. He can reliably create his own shot, and his takebacks are violent at times. He showed he can be an exceptional pull-up shooter, and he's got a float in the bag to keep defenses honest as well. He's got some range on his jumpers too. He pulled up from a decent distance from behind the arc at times and hit a good chunk of these. Teams cannot afford to go under on him, and he was deadly off dribble handoffs, which is nice to see in a guard prospect. He didn't take a ton of threes off the catch, but when they did, they looked pretty good. He could potentially be an off-ball threat. All of this opens up his passing ability. He operated the pick and roll very well at Florida. He found roll men consistently and made good decisions with regularity. He found corner shooters on a regular basis too, and made some nice passes on the move. There are some negatives though. He wasn't the best at handling pressure from defenses. Things became nightmarish when he encountered traps. He can also become set on his reads early on instead of reading what the defense was giving him. He made some terrible passing decisions, and he's not a high-level athlete and struggled to create separation at times against bigs. He wasn't a great finisher either. The defense was also pretty bad, and he got blown by reasonably regularly. His closeouts were also not very good. He lost his man reasonably often, and in general, he just didn't have any good defensive instincts. At the number 9 spot, I have Jaden Springer out of Tennessee. Springer is 6'4" with a 6'8" wingspan. In his solo season at Tennessee, he averaged 28.1 points, 8 rebounds, and 6.6 assists per 100 possessions. He also shot 47% from the field and 44% from 3. He's a great on-ball defender. He moves his feet well and is very strong and can use his length to pester ball handlers. He does well to cut off passing lanes and force bad decisions. He has great lateral movement and always stays close to his man. He has quick hands and posts ball away often, and he never gives up on plays on this end of the court. On the offensive end, he's a very strong finisher at the basket. He showed some nice explosion even with his lingering ankle injury. He can handle contact due to his strength, and he showed that he can slither through defenses to get to his spots. He found guys reliably off drives and displayed good craftiness to find guys in the dunker spot. He's also good at finding baseline cutters when he drives. He showed he can read defenses and create open looks for his teammates. His explosiveness forces defenses to collapse, and he did a good job of making the right reads. Tennessee didn't run much pick and roll, but when they did, he looked good in it too. He shot the 3-ball well, but the volume was very low. He was definitely better off the dribble. His ceiling goes up a lot if he can improve his catch and shoot numbers, as it means he can play off the ball as well. He was also particularly bad from the corners. Not a good sign for a potential NBA player. He also wasn't a particularly good shot creator for himself. As a point guard in the NBA, it's necessary to have a go-to late clock option. Him not being able to hit threes or pull up jumpers consistently is very concerning. I worry about his potential as a high-level scorer and will probably need to play alongside another ball handler. This makes the need for him to develop his shot off the catch even more important. At the number 8 spot, I have Springer's former teammate, Keon Johnson. Johnson is 6'5" with a 6'8" wingspan, and in his solo season in college, he averaged 25.9 points, 8 rebounds, and 5.7 assists per 100 possessions. He also shot 44.9% from the field and 27.1% from 3. Johnson is very athletic at the rim and can get upstairs to throw it down. He is also good at attacking the rim of the catch, although he doesn't have a particularly great first step, and for all his vertical athleticism, he struggled to get separation. He also struggled with contact and sometimes won't fully commit to attacking the rim. He loves the mid-range though. He's shown the ability to create his own shot, a good sign for someone who could potentially be a high-level scorer in the future. He likes the turnaround jumper as well, and can throw these in when he's in the post. For all the good he gives with the mid-range shot, he takes a lot of it away with the three-point shot. He took a few and made considerably fewer. For a guard ranked as highly as he is, this is a big concern, and if it doesn't come along, it'll definitely put a ceiling on how good he can be as a scorer. Even off the catch, it's still not great. His cutting off the ball is very intelligent as well. He's good in transition and can use his speed and athleticism here. He also throws in a couple in and out dribbles and hezzies to help him get to the basket. His athleticism translates to the defensive end as well. He can get really high to swat some shots, and he slides his feet nicely, so I think he could end up being a nice on-ball defender. He fights through on and off-ball screens well, and likes to stick his hand out every now and again to pick guys' pockets. At the number 7 spot, I have Davion Mitchell out of Baylor. Mitchell is 6 foot flat with a 6'3" wingspan. In his final season in college ball, he averaged 24.4 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 9.6 assists per 100 possessions, with a 51% field goal percentage and a 44.7% three-point percentage. Mitchell is a top-tier on-ball defender. He showed great lateral quickness on the perimeter, and he really just gets in the face of ball handlers and makes them uncomfortable. He's stout physically despite being a smaller guard, and has really active hands and managed to grab cookies out of the cookie jar on a consistent basis. He closes out well and does so in a controlled manner. He's also developed into a decent playmaker, having nearly doubled his assist count from his redshirt freshman season. The first step is also there, and he uses his change of pace well to really freeze defenders and get past them. He can be lethal when he has a straight line to the rim, and when he gets there, he can finish with both hands and through contact as well. He's really strong and physical, and is tenacious and plays with a big heart. I love that he's shown to be a big game competitor. The jumper is not certified though, but it has improved every year in college, so I think it could be solid. He's better off the catch though, and does a good job of relocating to get open off the ball. Let's get to the weaknesses. He didn't get to the line a ton. That is a bit of a concern for his scoring ceiling. He's not a great pick and ball handler too. He can miss reads and sometimes get too ambitious with his passes. His lack of height and wingspan means he's limited in terms of his defensive versatility, and that may affect his offensive game as well. He's not really good at reacting to contests and adjusting in the air. He doesn't drive to his right, and as soon as NBA defenses pick this up, it could be difficult for him. His dribble could be a little tighter as well. And finally, his free throw percentage is pretty low. And while I don't think that's a defining indicator of a good or bad shooter, as some people will have you believe, I think that combined with his poor three-point shooting number from previous years could be a cause for concern. At the number 6 position, I have Miles McBride from West Virginia. McBride is 6'2" with a 6'8" wingspan. In his final season of college ball, he averaged 26.3 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 8 assists per 100 possessions, while shooting 43% from the field and 41% from 3. With the ball in his hands, McBride has the ability to create his own shot. He showed he can be very effective driving to the basket or pulling up. He was good when he got ice opportunities. He has a mid-range game as well, and that makes him really tough to guard. He's really shifty with the ball in his hands, and this helps him create separation and get open. He's on the bigger side for a guard, so he can use his physicality to bully smaller guards. He's also a threat off the catch and shoot, so he can provide some value off the ball as well. The jumper is reasonably quick and he hits shots consistently, so I'm relatively confident in it. As a playmaker, I think there's a lot of potential. He's good at fighting teammates off drives, and I think he could fit well in a spread NBA offense with shooters around him. He showed he can hit corner shooters on kickouts. Defensively, McBride is a good on-ball defender. He's got quick feet and always keeps his chest square, making him a difficult prospect to get past. He's a great competitor on this end and loves getting in guys' faces. His pressure forces ball handlers to turn the ball over or make poor decisions. His recovery skills are also pretty good, and he can make up for his mistakes when he overcommits. He's also good at closing out and does so in a balanced and controlled manner. In terms of weaknesses, his shot diet is very jumper heavy. When he gets to the rim, he's not a bad finisher, but he just doesn't do it that often. He doesn't really possess that athletic burst, and he can sometimes get a little too excited on defense, and this results in him gambling way more than he should. Just making it into the top 5, I have Josh Giddey from the Adelaide 36ers in the NBL. He averaged 12.2 points and 8 rebounds with 8 assists per 36 minutes in the NBL, shooting 43% from the field and 30% from 3. He's a really creative passer both in the half court and in transition, and possesses the ability to make these passes with both hands. He has incredible timing on his passes and has an instinct for finding guys at the right time. He reads defenses to an exceptional degree and always has his head up looking for passes. He's able to find cutters on a consistent basis and does a good job of controlling the pace and tempo of the game. He gets the basket easy enough and does well to find big men for dump-offs. He's able to make a wide variety of passes, including kickouts, wraparounds, and behind-the-back passes. In general, his passes can be very pleasing on the eye. He operates the pick and roll well and can create for himself and others. He also finishes well with the basket and can use both hands when he gets there. He's not the most athletic guy, but when he does find holes in the defense, he penetrates well, and his length comes in handy here, as he's able to use his long strides to get past defenders and his long levers to finish past them. He even has a little explosion when he gets ahead of steam to the basket. He has a little floater game and mid-range game in the bag as well, and is a smart off-ball cutter. The shot though is pretty slow and stiff, although he did make enough to keep defenses honest. The shot got better as the season progressed, and he was even a potential threat of the catch and shoot later on in the season. He was a threat of the catch and shoot and even started making shots off the dribble later in the season. At the number 4 spot, I have James Bouknight out of UConn. Bouknight is 6'5" with a 6'8" wingspan. In his sophomore season at UConn, he averaged 35.7 points, 10.8 rebounds, and 3.4 assists per 100 possessions, while shooting 45% from the field and 29% from 3. Bouknight has the tools to be a really effective scorer at the NBA level. He showed he can be a pure 3-level scorer. He glides past defenders and has a deadly hesitation move, which defenders found impossible to guard. He uses his in and out dribble as well to get past defenders. There's also potential for him to be a good pull-up shooter too. He's a good creator in isolation and can definitely create his own shot. He's a natural finisher at the basket, and he does an alright job of generating contact when he gets to the rack. He also has a high free throw rate and gets to the basket regularly. He has good burst in his drives and hangs in the air for a long time when he goes up for finishes. The 3-ball of the dribble is good. His percentages were affected by him needing to take a lot of tough shots though, and I believe he has that microwave ability scoring wise. He's also a really sulky and fluid athlete. The explosiveness is there, even if it's not quite up there with the best in the class. He also showed he can be a good vertical athlete too. On the negatives though, he's not a high-level distributor. He would often stifle the UConn offense and eventually settle for tough shots or turn the ball over. He also showed a lack of control with the ball in his hands when teams pressured him. He also doesn't offer much off the ball, and defensively he lacks good instincts and can get lost at times. At the number 3 spot, I have Jared Butler out of Baylor. In his final season of college ball, Jared Butler averaged 31.7 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 9.1 assists per 100 possessions, while shooting 47.1% from the field and 42% from 3. Butler is a great shooter off the catch, and I fancy him a bit of a long-range sniper. He shoots well off the dribble too, and just punishes teams that go under on the pick and roll. He also hits jumpers in the mid-range. He showed that he can be a great scorer in isolation, and he snakes around screens well too. The handle is also buttery smooth, and he slithers through traffic beautifully. He's also great with his off-ball movement. As a passer, he makes plays in the open floor. He finds big men on his drives consistently, and flashes potential as a great pocket passer too. He also finds corner shooters consistently off the pick and roll. Defensively, he closes out well and showed he can cover a lot of ground. He also does a good job of staying in front of drivers and is a smart off-ball defender. There are some weaknesses though. He's not an offensive hub. His free throw numbers are low, he doesn't get to the basket a ton, and when he does, he doesn't do a good job of initiating contact and struggles to finish when he's met with size. Overall, he's just not a terrific finisher at the rim. He's a little older as well, so his upside might be a little lower than other guys. And at number 2, just missing out on the number 1 spot, I have Jalen Suggs out of Gonzaga. Suggs is 6'4" with a 6'5" wingspan, and in college he averaged 26.6 points, 9.9 rebounds, and 7.4 assists per 100 possessions. Suggs is a good athlete and shows good burst when driving to the basket. He can use his speed to get to the rack and draw fouls, and does a good job of lowering his shoulder to initiate contact. He also has a good change of pace and can slow it down and speed it up when necessary on his drives. He has good touch on his finishes and can absorb contact well. He also displays good body control in the air. He's an experienced pick and roll operator, and his speed again helps him here to allow him to get around screens and get to the cup in a blink of an eye. He also uses an array of hesitation moves and pump fakes to freeze defenders before blowing past them. He's also a good passer in these situations. He can use his athleticism to draw the attention of the defense and then has the presence of mind to find teammates. However, he doesn't make too many high-level reads. He can shoot it from beyond the arc when teams go under, and has nice range on these too. The step-back 3 is there. However, it's not as reliable as you'd want, and is better off the dribble than off the catch. His mid-range game is alright, and he likes shooting these shots after a spin move. He's a good scorer and playmaker in transition, and I believe he might be able to play off the ball as he's a really intelligent cutter. He can even be a lob threat at times. He shows really good hustle on defense and plays hard all the time. He combines his athleticism and anticipation to be a menace on the defensive end, although he can gamble a little too much sometimes. He's very active and quick hands, and even shows potential as a shot blocker. To put the cherry on top of it all, he makes a lot of really good winning plays. And finally, at the number 1 spot, I have Jalen Green out of the G League Ignite team. Green is 6'6" with a 6'8" wingspan. In the G League, he averaged 20.2 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 3.2 assists per 36 minutes, while shooting 46% from the field and 36.5% from 3. Green is an amazing athlete. He's a vertical threat and can get upstairs with ease. The jump shot passes the test. He can hit them from beyond the arc, off the catch, or off the dribble. He possesses a deadly step-back 3. However, his efficiency can come and go from game to game. He has a deep bag of tricks which he can use to get open. He is a high-level finisher and is really creative when he gets to the rim. He's able to slither past defenders and avoid contact. If contact is made, however, he's a terrific free throw shooter. He shows good body control and can make adjustments in the air. He even got on the end of a couple alley-oops. He can take guys on 1v1. However, he does have bouts of tunnel vision and his court vision isn't that great. He will miss open reads and force up bad shots. His shot IQ in general isn't that great and will heave up bad attempts every so often. He's a nice scorer in transition and an effective cutter, and I believe he has the potential to be a high-quality 3-level scorer. The dribble isn't as great as you'd like. It almost seems like his dribble is really high. He's shown potential as a good on-ball defender, and his wingspan and athleticism allow him to be a menace on this end. He can lose concentration off the ball though, and lacks a great deal of strength at the moment. Well, that was all for this video. If you did enjoy, please put tap that like button, and until next time, it has been your boy, Tucker McAllister. Have a good day.